Welcome to The Strongest Boring Grounds, the game that almost put me to sleep. Are you an angry 9-year-old that clicked on this video because The Strongest Battlegrounds is your favorite game ever and you're upset with me? Good, wonderful. Welcome aboard and make sure you watch the whole thing so that way I get the most amount of money out of you. Is that shameless? Yes. Yes, it is. I got nothing else to say here, man. I gotta pay the bills. Anyways, Strongest Battleground surprised me, mostly because I didn't expect it to be as excruciatingly boring and bare bones as it was, and it makes me have to seriously question, what the hell am I even still doing here? I mean, should I have expected it? Yes. Yes, I should have, because all things considered, when it comes to these wildly popular games on Roblox, there has been one of them that I've ever played that even remotely measured up to the amount of players it has, and that's Deep Woken. Literally every single other one of these that I've played has been dog ass. We played Souls RNG, and it's not even a game. We've played Blox Fruit. It's barely a game. We've played B Game. Again, barely a game. But with this one, when you've got a fighting game that's hovering over 100,000 players, I go in expecting a ton of depth, and I left with none of that. Okay, so, well, what is Eternal Battlegrounds? Basically, you spawn into the game, and you pick an ability, and you kill people. That is the game. That's all there is to the game. Is it technically a game? Yeah, sure. So we're not quite on the level of Souls RNG in terms of this just being an experience and not classifying as a game, but I have to seriously question how this game retains players. Like, none of this makes any sense to me. And so hopefully those of you that can go into the comments will be able to explain exactly what's going on here, because I certainly don't get it. This game basically makes no sense. So here's the thing, generally speaking, when you have a game where the only goal is to kill other players, that's kind of a problem. If you don't have things to engage people or to work towards, grind towards, etc., people call it a day and they click off your game and go play something else where they can waste a ton of their time. See Blox Fruit. But the issue here is that this game doesn't have any of that. Everything is unlocked straight from the get-go. There doesn't appear to be any sort of reason to continue playing. There's a 1v1s mode, which I suppose you can play, but other than improving at the borderline unfun stun simulator mechanics that come naturally with all of these games that I can't stand playing, like, what is there here? Nothing. So how the hell does it have people continuing to play it? Like, let me give you an example of why this makes little to no sense. You have a game like Frontlines, for example. Frontlines is a game heavily inspired by Call of Duty and is very well made. The game modes vary from kill confirm, domination, team deathmatch, pretty much any of your standard game modes that you would find in first-person shooter games nowadays. The gunplay is good, the mechanics feel nice to interact with, and it's got plenty of things to unlock. Despite that, Frontlines never really broke through when it came to the Roblox algorithm and has pretty consistently been staying at about 1.7 to 2,000 players. Now mind you, some of this makes sense because Frontlines has seemingly been abandoned. I don't think it gets updates pretty much ever, and so the only reason that you would go back at this point is to just play the game. And so it should make sense that if the only goal for people to play was to just play the game and they don't have any overarching goals, then they're gonna quit and move on to something else. But this logic doesn't work anymore when you look at the Strongest Battlegrounds, because the Strongest Battlegrounds has literally nothing to work towards, but there's 100,000 people playing it, and they keep coming back. So what are they logging on for? Do you start to see my conundrum here? It doesn't make any sense. As I've been playing more and more Roblox games, I've realized something, and that's that I feel like this is 99% Roblox algorithms and maybe 1% actual game. I think a lot of people just sort of click on what's in front of them, and so when they get some garbage put in front of them, like Souls RNG, they'll click on it and they'll play it just because peer pressure. Everyone else is doing it, so why shouldn't I? And part of me thinks that the Strongest Battlegrounds falls into this camp. People are like, oh, I want to play some sort of game where I fight other players on Roblox. Well, this one's right in front of me. Let me pick that. That's seriously my only guess at this point, because before Strongest Battlegrounds, we had Anime Battle Arena, which I played like twice. I think it was on a live stream. I couldn't stand it, and I didn't want to touch it ever again. Kind of like with this game. But the difference here between this game and Anime Battle Arena was, at least in Anime Battle Arena, there were things to work towards. You unlocked characters, as well as the main structure of the matches in the main game, at least I'm pretty sure, had some structure to it. Like, there were game modes and stuff like that. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm fairly certain that that was the case. But here, well, there's nothing. Nobody wins, nobody loses, you just are here, you just exist. And so I'm really just sort of at a loss. The visual effects are fine. People made a super, super big deal about the visual effects in this game, and there's like maybe 1 or 2 per character that seem really impressive, and then all the rest of them seem relatively standard for your modern day Roblox game, or at least, you know, one that has a decent chunk of money, and we know full well based on the player counts that this game has made bank, so that doesn't really hold up. The sound design makes me want to vomit because I can't hear anything and constantly get tinnitus when I die. And the actual gameplay itself is just janky. I don't know how else to put it. The side dash is the way that you dash into people. That's just unintuitive game mechanics. Why would they design it that way? I'm frankly not sure. I already see the comments right now. Eclipse, get good, just learn how to do the side dashes and spin around people at Mach 6 going in a circle so that way you can hit them easier. And like, that's just not fun to play. It's not intuitive when it comes to controls. And naturally with these games, we can't go 3 seconds without getting hit into the air by a giant AoE move or getting stuck in a 40-year infinite combo that some guy looked up on the internet, because that's fun, right? Nothing better than sitting here and getting comboed by some guy who went on Google. Yep, great game. Anyways, that's it. This isn't gonna be like the Souls RNG video where I try to drag it out to 10 minutes as a joke or whatever I did, because wherever this video ends up being in terms of length, I literally have nothing else to say here because, well, there's barely a game to talk about. I don't know why so many people wanted me to talk about this, and I don't know why so many people are playing it when there's really nothing here. So yeah, that's it. Strongest Battlegrounds video. I did one. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys in the next one.